I just caught a seahorse.
Oh, good timing. Why are there so many horse fish? Right? What the fuck's going on here?
What's with all these horses?
Let's hope he's as powerful as he is verbose.
I don't want to, like, be racist at her. My fucking sleeves. Oh my, what the fuck is that? What the hell? What the fuck? That's just a giant ass pizza cutter. Holy shit, what? Oh yeah, Shadowheart's dealing with all the baby. Ah! Shadowheart, no! Ah!
Come for you. Jesus. Oh, being cute. Oh, and the other one just ran over and hit a Asterion.
Oh, fuck, dude! Ooh. Ew. What the hell? Is that a dolphin? What is that? Oh my god, that's a dolphin! Whoa! What? So cute! What the heck? It's really cute!
That was fucking on hinge.
I love when video games turn me evil.
Guys, guys,
What?
guys.
What?
Look what I found. Hold on.
Huh?
Hold on.
You good?
Hold on.
guys. Good morning. Sorry I'm late. I was asleep. Let's see here. What's the best way of recapping this? Sleep is just that good. It really was. I was locked in a dream, man. I was 1 minute away from messaging Zod to get you up. Thanks for the 115 stream streak, Velvet. Don't worry, they didn't even need you to tell them to do that. He'll sleep at 8 a.m. more likely than you'd think. Okay, we are playing of the devil. Episode 0. And we are currently talking to the cops. Today's a sleepy day. It looks kind of like dreary out. Also, especially with that, the transition from yesterday's 70 degrees to today's like 40, I think, or something. It's gonna be rough out there. Hey, Turnip, can you lay down? Thank you. There's no, so we are looking for evidence of a third person, but we don't want to claim it at this moment because it would be pointless. And he was wearing the jacket, I think, covered in blood. Like, it is his. And he did hold the gun at some point. Unfortunately. Alright, I'm just going to continue with the conversation. My client freely admits to holding the gun. He picked it up in confusion after coming home to find a brutal crime scene. Which was not smart. Hey. But not illegal either. And that's all. He had her blood all over his clothes. Yes, he did. Right. Do you have those clothes on hand, by the way? The lab finished with them a while ago. What are you getting at? It'll be easier just to show you. Would you mind getting them for me? You know what? Sure. I could use the fresh air. Stinks of bullshit in here anyway. Hi, Owen. Thanks for lurking. Oh, wait. I have to do something really quick. Oh, never mind. I already did that. Haha. And here I thought the room smelled like... Psst. Morgan. What are you doing? My coat's covered in her blood. I remember that much. So doesn't that, like, make me look really bad? Just relax, Carlos. I'm pretty sure that's impossible. You're innocent. And that means that having more evidence will always help you and not hurt you. Really? Really? Not really. Plenty of innocent people in prison. People with bad luck or bad lawyers. People shouldn't count on the truth to come out easy. More often than not, it takes coaxing. What was it that reminded me of... Alright, here it is. I was about to say, damn, she's just lying to him. Yeah. I love the moments where she is blatantly lying to people's faces. Ugh, I love her. One bloodstained jacket, fresh from the lab. So what's your angle? You gonna tell us this is actually just hot sauce? No, that would be silly. She actually thought it over. So what the hell's your point? Hey. Sorry, I just got thrown off by the turn of good fortune. What good fortune? You should thank the detective for bringing you your jacket, Carlos. She's just proven your innocence. My client was arrested wearing this coat. He would have been wearing it at the time of the murder. It has the victim's blood on it, who we know died when she was shot in the heart. By a gun that happens to be an old world pre-tagging firearm. And this coat provides that he couldn't have been the shooter. Is there a gas leak in here? In what world does that make any sense? Sense happen to be key here. I just need to draw their attention to what they can. What you can smell on the coat with your nose. What you can feel on the coat with your hands. And what you can see on the coat with your eyes. Whoa. Okay, hold on. Let's think here. Smell on the coat. What would we smell? Blood? We would also feel blood. The coat the suspect was wearing when taken into custody. Blood on the sleeve matches the victim. No other details of any forensic significance found. So he's wearing it, which means maybe necessarily he... Hey, what are we proving here? Wait, hold on. Flats. Statement? I'm trying to think. Did he mention like leaving to smoke? I don't know if that would help though. You gotta huff that scent. I'm gonna try smell, because I think she was hinting towards that. Or I guess all of them were technically scents, but this is like the scent. Just do me one favor, detective. Tell me what you smell. I don't smell anything except dried blood. Exactly. The coat smells like blood, but it doesn't smell of cigarette. That's what I've been smelling. Yes, Detective London. Oh, I was smoking. That's why. I was like, for some reason I thought maybe he... No, I don't know. I was thinking of Morgan. That's awesome. Yes, Detective London. I was smoking earlier. Could you rejoin the conversation? I've been listening. You want me to smell the jacket? If you would. Let's see. Huh. No gunpowder. What? What about gunpowder? Oh, don't blame yourself for not noticing. This was before your time. Hold on. The revolver. Oh, well, I guess it wouldn't have specified anything about that anyway. That's okay. You can't be more than a few years older than me. But not before your partners, it seems. See, gunpowder's weak by today's standards, but it's still volatile stuff. Hard to store, prone to misfiring. And when it goes bang, it leaves behind an awful lot of evidence. The hell is she talking about, London? Modern firearms, like the ones we carry, use electricity, magnetism, even air pressure or sound waves. They've got more accuracy, more firepower, less recoil, less noise, and they don't leave behind any residue. Gunpowder residue? You talked my ear off about how difficult it is tracking down a gun that doesn't leave digital traces. But a revolver like this one, it'd leave gunpowder on the skin of whoever fired it for days. So then his coat. If you don't trust your noses, you can check the lab reports. I think if they had found any gunpowder on my client or his clothes, they'd have taken the time to highlight it. Well, whatever. That just means he washed it off after shooting her, or he changed his clothes. That's not impossible. But it would be pretty pointless. Huh? His jacket and his left hand were blood-soaked when your officers found him. Would he really go through all the effort to get rid of something as subtle as gunpowder residue? Just to get the victim's blood all over himself afterwards? In light of these details, I'd like to formally request that you reconsider the charges Mr. Flatt is facing as soon as possible. Whoa. They're faltering now. Should topple over at any moment. The letter was mostly icing on the cake for them. But that gun is all they had to link Carlos to any of the shootings. So if it looks like he never actually fired the gun, I'll admit things were a little dicey there at times. But once I was able to grasp the situation, the smaller pieces fell into place easily enough. Not my cleanest work by far, but overall, I'd say... Did she get a message? The art style is so cute. Hello, Scum. Yes, it is. It's really interesting. I love it. Wait, did they actually manage to find it? Something you'd like to share, Detective Reyes? You're good. Twisting the truth into knots, making the facts work for you. Thanks. But your luck just ran out. Because the net scrubbers found a cam active at the exact moment of the shooting. And right now, I'm staring at a photo of the killer. Wanna bet? A photo of the shooter? If she had that, we wouldn't still be talking. But I doubt she's just pulling this out of her ass. She's got something from the scrubbers. Ooh. She must be bluffing. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, she's got something, so... Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, I think we'll stay. Right? I don't know. Yeah, let's I don't know, it's so fun. I want to be like risky. I'll try to stay. I'm not sure I follow, Detective. Didn't we establish that there was an optics blackout during the shooting? Sure there was. But this isn't from optics. Oh no, I should have been risky. Good thing I held my tongue. As I thought, the scrubbers must have managed to dig up something from outside the network. Which means... Party's over, counselor. Feast your eyes on this. Well. Okay. The quality is lacking. And yet, there it is. They managed to find a quarter needle of evidence in a whole city block of haystacks. What are the goddamn chances? No, with the scale their tools operate on, I guess the chances are, as always, in their favor. Alright, this isn't good. But it's a far cry from the worst case scenario I envisioned. You could even say I got lucky, which means the stakes are... Well, it's a little bit... blurry. Don't look at me. I didn't take the damn thing. Technically, no one took it. Looks like at the time of the shooting, a neighbor was on their phone. Probably venting about how crazy the couple across the way was acting. But if their phone was on, its camera would be on. And so we managed to get the shot through the window. Where to begin? Far away, unfocused, ultra low resolution, zoomed in, blurred, color shifted, and so compressed it looks like it's from another century. There are tools that could enhance this image any further, and I could count the pixels on one hand. And you could kiss its admissibility in court goodbye. You can't honestly claim that you can identify my client from this image. And there's no way in hell you could get this past a judge. Yeah, you're probably right. We couldn't. But I think I know a DA that could. Either way, it doesn't seem like your client's leaving this police station anytime soon. That photo. What the hell is happening to me? Think I know a DA that could? Don't be so modest, old man. We have photo evidence of a left-handed shooter standing in the hallway at the same time the whole neighborhood heard a gunshot. And who do we know that had their left-hand fingerprints all over that gun? You're referring to my client. You think? We've established he wasn't wearing his modded arm at all tonight. So he must have shot with his left. Yes, and we've also established that he's weak with his left side. A left side that had no gunpowder whatsoever. Forensics will never be perfect, counselor. Sometimes we miss things. Sometimes you take a walk through the rain, and when you finally get to where you were going, you somehow end up dry. But that doesn't mean it didn't rain. All of which is to say, before judge or jury, photographic evidence outweighs a failed sniff test. BRB putting duct tape over my phone camera. I know, right? This game, like... Ugh. What a dark world that we are far too close to. Carlos is innocent. I know he is. But that photo shows a left-handed shooter. Carlos is innocent. That photo is real. If both are true, then that means the photo doesn't show what it appears to show. So, at a loss for words? Never. I'm just confused about one thing. Where was this photo taken from, exactly? Exactly. Positional data is usually only accurate to the nearest public router. If we DAnon the phone's owner and ask them where, why bother with any of that? Ballistics and common sense tells us that the perp shot from the room's doorway. The front entrance of the apartment faces to the south. There's a hallway that runs back to the bedroom. We're looking straight at the shooter, so it's pretty obvious this was taken from across the north window. From the north? If this is from the north, then why can we clearly see the... Oh boy. Bird's eye view of the crime scene as discovered by the police shows the northern window facing the southern hallway. Northern window facing the southern hallway where the shooter stood. Shows the western window facing the eastern wall. Data recovered from an unknown citizen's phone. There's a clock. Because the camera was not set in photo mode at the time. Quality is bad. File markers for the post. Da, 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 da. Photo had already been cleaned up as best as possible. The clock. The clock was on the wall. But was it on the wall in that spot? It's not that complicated. The neighbor who got the shot must live on the other side of the street. So we're looking into the bedroom from the north window. Right. If she's wrong, I should seize on the opportunity to start turning the tide. The drawing is so funny. I know. I'm still thinking about the scene where, like, you find out she's a bad artist. She's wrong. The photo was taken from the west. Trying to figure out how the clock comes into play, because I feel like that's what I should be focusing on. From the west. Through this window? But how? Or from, like, they came in through... No. Huh? Taken from the west. Oh, it keeps going back to alphabetical order. Oh, maybe. Hold up, hold up. We're thinking. We're using our brains. Perhaps. Well, the clock is on this side. One of my thoughts is, like, is it not a doorway? Is it the mirror? Or something... What else was in the room? Morgan, your fucking art skills are throwing me off here. Okay. Well, that's my current theory. Yeah, she's wrong. The photo was taken from the west? I'm afraid that's simply not possible, Detective. This photo has to have been taken from the west. What kind of bluff is that supposed to be? The good detectives are misinformed here, and I need to take advantage of it. Time to press the initiative. The hell do you mean this was taken from the west? The autopsy tells us the victim was shot from the doorway. Your officer's ARCS data tells us the precise location of everything in the room at the time they arrived. And now your photo shows us the exact moment of the shooting. And you can raise the ante on a hand up to the current max? Oh god. Answer wrong and you'll lose more credit, but answer correctly and you can bank up more credit for trickier hands down the line. Whoa. And altogether, that tells us that this photo must have been taken through the west window. As long as you consider... Okay, we've got his coat, victim's blood on sleeve, nothing else of note. The mirror! Mirror was upright, clock was on the wall, cushions and bed were neat. The vase, cheap durable ceramic, not even a scratch, and the revolver, a murder weapon linked to 5 other crimes, Flat's fingerprints. The way the evidence is laid out, like the river in Texas Hold'em, is so good. Okay, okay, how do I raise, what do I do? More? Oh. Yeah, I don't know, sure. Just take one look at the clock in that photo. The clock? What about it? The clock, huh? Seems like London's got an idea. If he's mistaken, I could pounce on it to keep my tempo high, huh? This photo was taken right before the shooting, so... Wait, don't tell me the time of death is wrong. What? No, that's not what I'm talking about. No, I think the time of death is correct. That's a good question, Detective London. But the answer's no. The autopsy, the clock, and the neighbors all agree. The time of death was 9 p.m. Yeah, man, pounce on it. Right. No mistaking that. So then what the hell are you on about? There's a clock on the wall in this photo. Analog style. And it reads 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock p.m., the time of the shooting. The hell's so special about that? Nothing. There's nothing odd about the time the clock reads. But do you remember there being a clock in the room? What? Actually, I don't recall there being a clock. That makes sense. You wouldn't recall seeing a clock. Because when the police secured the scene, the clock had already been knocked onto the floor. And the only clock in that room is in the northeastern corner. And my client has informed me that before the crime, it was hung up on the eastern wall. Like so. What the hell is that supposed to be? An artistic rendition. It's, very distinct. If you had information on how the crime scene was before the shooting, why didn't you just add that to the arcs? And show you my hand? Just because discovery law compels us to share info doesn't mean we have to play fair, detective. Slipped my mind! I'll do that now. It kind of does, man. Uh-huh. Checkmate. Shows the worst drawing ever. The important thing is, if the clock was on the eastern wall before the shooting occurred, then this photo must be looking through the western window to see it. Don't start getting ahead of yourself. The victim was shot at 9 o'clock p.m., the same time that this photo was taken of the shooter. But you want to claim that the clock's still on the eastern wall when it would have been knocked down during the fighting? You've got your logic backwards, detective. Your precious photo shows that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And there's one other piece of evidence that proves exactly how the cards fell. The murder weapon. The vase. The glass. The glass! And the ceramic debris. Is the glass from the mirror? I think. Well, I hope. Glass shards? What about them? Nothing much, really. Her little face. Only that they're on top of the victim's body and not under it. If the glass fell on top of the victim's body, that would mean that she was dead on the ground before the room got trashed. But that doesn't make any sense. Why would anyone trash the room afterwards? It's a good question, Carlos. Luckily, it's the detectives who have to delve into the minds of the criminally insane, not us. Tell me, detective, were there any signs of a struggle at the other crime scenes? Other crime scenes? No, nothing like that. Those attacks would have been over in a matter of seconds. So what did you think when you saw the mess in the bedroom? That this was personal and that things had gotten complicated. Shit happens. Shit does happen, detective. But in this case, it seems there's been a general misconception about the order in which shit happened. So what if the room didn't get tossed over until afterwards? He still shot her. And we have a photo of it right here. And I'm glad you do, detective, because that photo proves my client's innocence. Huh? I love when she goes, huh? Proving that it wasn't my client who pulled the trigger is difficult, and maybe more importantly for all of us, time-consuming. Thanks to your photo, I can instead prove that it couldn't have been my client who pulled the trigger. Because the man in that photo can't possibly be Carlos. Like hell it can't. The glass shards prove that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And we know that until the room was tossed, that the clock was on the eastern wall. Which means that the photo of the shooter was taken from the west. Back to this shit? That's impossible. The only hallway in that apartment runs from north to south. The only person with prints on the gun is your client. And the only fact that matters is he used it to murder 6 innocent people. You're a very honest person, detective. Excuse me? That's why you're such a shitty gambler. You've played your cards too early, and now I can steal the pot right from under you. You're right about the hallway's orientation. You're right about the prints. And this HK figure has claimed 6 lives. But we aren't looking at the hallway in that photo. What? What we're seeing is the mirror. At the fucking... Those things. Victim stand-up mirror, not digital. What is that? You trying the glass shards again? Sort of. By the way, do you recall where those glass shards came from? Yeah, sure. They came from a standing mirror. A mirror that, at the time of the shooting, stood across the room from the western window. But then, that would mean, at that angle, from that viewpoint, it would reflect the hallway. So we're not seeing a shooter with a gun in their left hand. We're seeing a killer take aim with their right arm. And as we all know, my client hasn't had a working right arm in a number of weeks. And he hasn't worn his rental since this morning. So I meant what I said about that photo. I'm glad it was recovered. Because it just proved that my client couldn't possibly have committed the crime. That should be the end of it. Except it looks like Detective Reyes really is a novice gambler. Sunk cost has got its teeth in her now, clawing up to her spine, whispering wounded pride in her ear. It's a cold sweat, hot palms kind of fever. The impotent, irrational fury of losing something you thought was guaranteed yours. But lucky for you, Detective, I'm well versed in shock therapy. You look dissatisfied, Detective Reyes. That's one word for it. Then allow me to put a nice bow on everything for you. In summary, my client's so-called confession was just a note to self. The police found him in shock, reeling at the death of his girlfriend, and arrested him for being next to a gun he forensically couldn't have fired. After being confronted with these facts, you received photographic evidence of the exact moment of the shooting. And instead of utilizing said photo to track down the real killer, you tried to claim it depicted my client, a man without the requisite limb, standing in an architecturally impossible hallway. He could have had a backup arm. He could have stolen one. A little stubbornness can be charming, but this kind of desperation is ugly. It's getting late. Time to bare my fangs. A bit. That was really cool. That's the best you've got? Even a bare bones prosthetic off the black market needs to be attuned to an individual's nervous system. He'd have to bring it into a clinic, which would have left a record on his shoulder OS. A record you won't find. And he'd still have to somehow have gotten rid of it before the police arrived. SOP at the scene of a violent crime calls for full spectrum scanning of the entire building and 100 meters around it minimum. So where, Detective Reyes, did he manage to hide a cybernetic arm from your drones in the time between the shooting and his arrest? Well, any objections? Detective? God. Damn it! Yay. That was so fun. Show me your hand, Flat. You're uncuffing me? In light of the evidence, we have no reason to hold you. Now I gotta go call the DA and tell her I made a mistake. Not we made a mistake, huh? Listen, kid. You should know. Detective? Lost my train of thought. But hey, your attorney is a real tiger, and she just fought like hell for you. Make sure you thank her properly. Public defense doesn't pay that well. Yeah. That's kind of you to say, Detective. But my work is its own reward. Sure. I feel exactly the same, Counselor. Now she joins your Yuri harem, right? I hope so. What happens now? I'll have to speak with the DA about the dismissal. And there's still some paperwork we'll need to go through. Basically, you're free to go. Congrats. You get to leave the casino with your kneecaps intact. Yay? But what am I supposed to do? The detectives will continue their investigation. Their investigation into heartbreak, huh? Yes. When the authorities are satisfied with their examination of the body, she'll be handed over to the next of kin. And then you can make funeral arrangements. No, that's not what Diane being gone is bad enough. But a serial killer? It's like she died of the flu. It doesn't happen anymore. People die of the flu all the time, but I know what you mean. I can't make sense of it. So what am I supposed to do? Hell if I know. There are some contacts I could give you. Services, professionals, doctors. No, you've done more than enough for me. When you got here, I was too tired to even defend myself. To try and convince them that I didn't. You saved me. Thank you. You're welcome, Carlos, but it's my job to... No, I mean... Thank you for not asking. For not asking if I killed her. Oh, Carlos. I didn't need to ask. I knew you were innocent from the start. Of course he was. After all... Yes! Yes! Oh my god. The blood's always different. Heart's always in the same place. Easy to find. Hard to miss. But the blood's always different. A flowering stain, unfurling towards an invisible sun. A perfectly unique bloom. Only one for each of us. A Rorschach test with singular universal meaning. Vitality at its climax. Bursting forth into a red fractal consisting solely of an infinite the end. But the comical thud of a body hitting the floor has its own kind of lowbrow appeal. Dude, I was wondering. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, that's so good. I love her even more now. 8:59 p.m. June 4th. Bullet number 6 of 6. The gun's empty. It's useless to me now. May as well leave it. Feels like a waste, but whatever. Wait, hold on. Updated the profile. Heartbreak! Occupation, criminal and defense attorney. Cannot carry a tune. Wait, okay, so Morgan's profile says criminal defense attorney and Heartbreak's profile says criminal, comma, defense attorney. She likes high places, gambling, and guns. She dislikes nosy people, mud, and headphones. Her hobby is batting cages. She loves mapo tofu and cannot carry a tune. God. Really good. Finding the ammo was almost enough of a hassle to outweigh the advantages. I could sell an untagged gun for a fair bit of cash, but cash can't buy you a peace of mind. Oh, don't look so surprised, lady. Moping around in the dark in here. Must have only been able to see my silhouette. Did she think I was her boyfriend? Back for an encore of that enthralling conversation? Can't ask her now. Hey! Yeah, did you hear that? These old pieces are so goddamn loud. And people aren't even familiar enough with the sound anymore to know to run the other way. Probably roused half the neighborhood. But I didn't see anything I could use as even a partial suppressor on the way in. Could they really not afford some throw pillows? I used the other 5 bullets in outdoor spaces, in small spheres of blind opportunity that the city's eyes couldn't think to pierce. Cramped places, usually full of trash. But this room, as cheap as it looks, is at least organized. Organized even. So the corpse adds a certain satisfying contrast. Except there's shit on the floor. By the window, there are broken pieces of something fragile and tacky. It's fine. It's just one thing out of place. Actually, it's not fine. It's actually really irritating. I kick over this stupid goddamn mirror. 5 perfect crime scenes, each of them. Not a speck of evidence, nothing to go on. And for the final shot, there just has to be some pile of shit in the corner ruining everything. I kick the wall. Something falls from it. Probably more tasteless bullshit. I toss over the chair, knock the urn. Tear into the sheets with my frustration and try to savor the shredding. If it can't be clean, I'll just have to lean into the messy angle. At least it will be consistent. She is a freak. Oh my god, I love her. This was all so stupid. Honestly, I'm not the ego-driven type. In fact, I pride myself on my humility. Now, was it satisfying when the first 3 went down with single shots? Yes. But so what? I'm not made of stone. After that, I did start to actively aim for the heart, but... Ugh. Heartbreak killer? Really? Don't people have anything better to do with their time? What kind of miserable, lifeless voyeurs would obsess over something that's none of their business? After all the threads and breakdowns and the goddamn theory crafting, and all for the heartbreak killer. Sounds like a soap opera villain from a season where the writers were on strike. I'd feel insulted by the label, but no, that's someone else's name. They came up with it. They spread it. They marketed it. Heartbreaks got nothing to do with me. He's just some reclusive, lonely, socially impotent loser who shot 6 people because... Well, I'm sure people will come up with something. That he got rejected one too many times or whatever. Me, I killed those people because I saw them and I wanted to. And I've killed a lot more than just 6. At least the room is thoroughly trashed now. If I had just walked away after seeing that mess by the window, it would have irritated me to no end. And now that it doesn't match the MO of the last 5 perfectly, it'll irritate the cops to no end instead. Good riddance, Heartbreak. You enjoy your 15 minutes in the spotlight. Really savor it. I'm going home. God, I love her. So why the hell did she fight so hard to free the person going to jail in her stead? I'm assuming she's just doing this for the thrill of it. But I guess we don't know. The air's weighty tonight, thick, energized. A heavily foreshadowed summer rain I can feel on every hair. They call this kind of humidity oppressive, but I disagree. A warm tension on your skin, like in those short moments just after the shower turns off, when the steam lingers. Yeah, it's always most comfortable right afterwards. Maybe there's no disagreements to be had. Oppressive things can be comforting too. Only the guilty ones run. I don't know about that. But I know I've never felt guilty about any of this. And I walk. 5:01 a.m. June 5th. Sorry, using my left is still... That's okay. You can just initial in these spots. I took a scenic route home, courtesy of our fine city's sprawling public transportation, and got in a bit after 11 p.m. Had myself a thorough shower, drank a glass of milk, did some stretching, made sure my phone was on. Time went by evenly. Around 1:40 a.m., a posting for public defender work came up. Decent rate, since it was so late and so urgent. I had wagered correctly that the boyfriend would have enough sense to ask for a lawyer, and enough debt that he'd need to be provided one. Gamble. Did you mean how to start gambling? And how to bet sports on phone? A gambler with a system must be, to a lesser or greater extent, insane. All I had to do was stay awake. There wasn't much competition after 1 in the morning. Okay, where else? Here and here. How did I phrase it earlier? Criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. Why wouldn't I take on a job where I already knew more than the cops? It would have been easy to convince Carlos to plead out. I would have gotten paid the same too. But easy is dangerous. Carlos was, of course, innocent, so his conviction would never be airtight. There would be doubts, questions, appeals, maybe even fans, depending on his looks. More attention on HK and his crimes. More headaches. A cold case rotting at the very far back of the public's awareness is always preferable to one open and shut in haste. Now, with no more murders matching HK's MO, there won't be any additional public pressure to find a culprit. Now Heartbreak can just starve to death, out of sight and mind like any other fluke in the system. Almost done. Getting involved with the case this intimately does have its risks. Hell, I might have even overdone things here or there. Like lighting up a smoke inside an interrogation room, just to make doubly sure I didn't still smell of gunpowder myself. Oh. That London fellow seemed more fixated on it than I would have liked. But obviously, everything turned out rosy. And it's worth it for the finality of it all. Seeing the authorities' failings from the best seat in the house? That's just a bonus. Ooh, I feel like we're getting close to the end. But I don't know if it's close enough. I think I've still got like 20 minutes. So at least we hit the reveal. I think I'll probably start wrapping it up. Yeah, I gotta go. I was thinking maybe if I can finish it out, but that's okay. Another cliffhanger. But oh my god, that reveal, that was really good. I was like wondering what her deal was. And I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled by this. Does that mean are all the cases just gonna be her killing someone and then defending a false victim or a false culprit? That's awesome. If so, I love her. Imagine she kills because she likes it, or oh boy, a case I can win, money. Like 30 minutes left. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll save that for next time. And if I do finish it early next time, I have episode 1, so I can just continue on with the story. That rules. It really does. It truly does. Okay, I'm gonna start looking for someone to raid. Sorry for the late start. I was, again, asleep. Oopsie. We are raiding Lollydoo today. I love watching people's first time playthrough reactions. Hope you play the other episodes. H2 Omega, welcome. Yes, I'm very invested in this game. So absolutely, I already have I will be definitely playing the other episodes. I'll probably be continuing this next Thursday. Thursday seems to be when I'm playing the game. But no promises. I might shake things up. So check out my schedule if needed. It is Lolly's affiliate anniversary today. So she's celebrating that. And I believe she's drawing her viewers. So we will go wish her a happy affiliate. I'll see you guys tomorrow for some co-working. Same time. And then Sunday, I'm celebrating my birthday. I'm going to be playing some VR chat with friends. Should be a funny time. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.